Motion to come out of executive by Councilman Waller, second by
Second.
Councilwoman Gray. No discussion, call for the question.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Councilman Waller,
Yes.
Chairman Yates,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, everyone. We're out of executive now. Coming out of executive, do we have any motions?
I have a motion.
Go ahead.
Okay. I make the motion to approve Christmas bonuses for our three staff members in the amount of $500 to come from the S510 fund.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Gray for Christmas bonuses totaling $500 for each staff member, total 3. Seconded by Councilman Waller. Call for the question, or any questions? Seeing none, call for the question.
Councilman Rebar,
Yes.
Councilman Waller,
Yes. Way we go.
Chairman Yates,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy God. Going to old business, first item is Resolution 4-36, High Tower Resolution Revision. Can we get that up on, does everyone see it on their board booklet?
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to, I guess we need to read that into records?
Yes.
I'll read it. Therefore, it be resolved. The Osage Minerals Council hereby approves 4 new oil and gas leases with a 1-year primary terms for the High Tower Energy for northeast quarter of Section 19, Township 24 North, Range 4 East, the northwest quarter of Section 24, Township 26 North, Range 8 East, and the southeast quarter of Section 14, Township 26 North and Range 8 East, and the southwest quarter of Section 13, Township 26 North, Range 8 East, with 0 bonus and 1/5 royalty rate. The Osage Minerals Council hereby withdraws the appeal concerning the superintendent's previous decision regarding this lease. The chairperson of the Osage Minerals Council is hereby authorized to sign this resolution and all supporting documents. Looking for a motion.
I so move. Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Foreman, seconded by Councilwoman Gray. Is that correct?
Yes.
Any questions? Seeing none, call for the question.
Councilman Waller,
Yes.
Chairman Yates,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Rebar.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. And thank you all. The next agenda is a biennial meeting agenda. We need to have that, the agenda approved and set and sent out by today. So,
I
So
make,
moved.
I make
moved by
them-
Councilman Waller,
oh,
seconded by
approving it?
Well, I
said second.
second is Councilwoman Foreman. Any questions? Margot, your hand's been up, but I think you just got it up. Councilman Redcorn.
Call for the question.
Call for the question.
Okay, he's, hold on. I don't know. Thank you. They don't have the motion, she doesn't have it written in. So you're making the motion to approve the agenda for the biannual meeting. Is
That's
that
what
correct?
Councilman Waller's
Yes.
doing.
That's correct.
Seconded by Councilwoman Foreman.
The biannual.
Like the one that I
Oh,
don't.
hold on. It's here, and we're gonna need it retyped, and we made, as handed to you. It's
Yeah,
all done. We just gotta have it approved.
Just to be a annual, biannual meeting.
It's here. You just gotta type these things in there. We've approved this one. Okay.
We made a minute.
Good question.
call for the question.
Chairman Yates,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
She's frozen.
Councilwoman Foreman,
She's having trouble with her internet, so we may have to come back to her.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
back.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Revard,
Yes.
Councilman Waller.
Yes.
Motion passes.
And again, we'll need to have that finalized and sent today, so we get the federal entities 30 days prior to our biennial meeting on January 5th.
Yes, sir.
So, okay, next item is item C on old business, 2021 meeting dates. And I hadn't even looked at them, but they're usually,
Is it up there?
I make a motion that we leave them the first Friday and the third Wednesday of each month.
okay.
Second.
Motion and second.
The two when they're not.
Motion made by Councilwoman Harlan, seconded by Councilman Waller.
Okay. I have a question.
We're gonna, okay.
If you,
Go ahead, Councilwoman Gray.
okay, I'm sorry. Lacey has a comment to make that there's 2 Fridays, and they're holidays, and those offices will be closed. Is that correct?
Right, I was seeing some fine print in here and I couldn't pull it up.
What does she suggest? I'll go along with it.
So these dates are as suggested are what you're suggesting, right?
Yeah, Friday, January 1st.
I'll amend my motion to be, to adopt the schedule that's on the board right now, which appears to be, it will stick to our first Friday, third Wednesday, with the exception of dates where there's holidays, and they've given us an alternative date. I think we should adopt that. So I'm amending my motion.
Okay. And who was the second? Councilman Waller?
I concur.
You amend your second? Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none, call for the question.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Revard,
Yes.
Councilman Waller,
Yes.
Chairman Yates.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That finishes our old business. We're going to committee reports. Again, we didn't have anything with Tara. Mr. Trumley sent an email out this morning saying he had nothing new has developed and nothing new to present. Only item we got is hiring auditor, production and development committee. Councilman Redcorn, your name's on this one for sponsor.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I'm going to go ahead and again hand this over to Ms. Foreman. This is, she brought in within our committee and we passed by unanimous vote to send it to the OMC. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Redcorn. Because I sent all of this to you a couple of weeks ago, I found some discrepancies that made a significant monetary difference to our third quarter checks, and that is not resolved yet, but it just drove home the need to resume our auditing, our monthly auditing of all of the superintendent's reports like we had Mr. Swan do. And I have asked several times to, to get those, uh, to resume those reports. And this is not reflective of anybody's work. It's just we've got so much on our plates now, we're not getting it done. So we discussed in the Production and Development Committee the need to probably hire an outside auditor, just like we did with Mr. Swan, to review these monthly reports and make sure that they're correct. And it's my understanding that from several people that Mr. Swan every month found errors and, had to make sure they got corrected before we met. So the motion would be to resume these audit reports and hire an auditor, an outside auditor to do them for us.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Foreman to hire an outside auditor or hire an auditor seconded by Councilman Redcorn. Discussion. Polly Redcorn, your hand's up.
Thank you, Chair. I believe that Ms. Foreman did a lot of math and found $300 or so discrepancy, and also Mr. Red Eagle did some off the cuff calculations, I think, and then he pointed out another. He thought it was off. I'll let him discuss that. But anyway, the two people, we decided it's probably best to pursue what we had before. I do know, being an auditor, and I've talked to Mr. Swan a few times. I mean, you have to get tough with the BIA. You got to get there and not their friend. That's part of the auditing and compliance process. Mr. Yates, you're part of that in your field. I do that, and sometimes you got to get a little bit, take that authority and move forward. And I think a lot of that happens with this job. So just not that it's not been, but I think somebody probably that's their only task, contract to get in there. There's people out there who do a good job. Thank you.
Councilwoman Gray.
Well, as always, I'm going to ask some questions of that, and I appreciate your email, and you even disclosed in there, I am no accountant, but this is what I've done. So I do look to people that have that accounting background, which, when this information comes over, I mean, because I'm here, I see where, our identified staff person does work back and forth with them and knows the process that Mr. Swan had gone through. I looked at it and, I don't know if the gross production tax was factored into your numbers, if you subtracted that. There's all these the forms that we look at when we get them. And then I know that she does send them back when they're not right. So it's like someone's yelling the house is on fire and we find out it's really not on fire. But this is going to be a cost that we would have to, I'd like for it to come back to the Finance Committee, and we'll look at what this amount will be for the accounting of it, if this does pass, because we didn't factor this into our annual budget. And so you're asking for another position, which if it, this passes, then I say, yeah, then we'll have to figure out, the process and go and, just because we found someone that I know someone who can do this. The thing is, have they done it at Osage? And again, when I think we drove home the point, you can be, you've got to know Osage. It's just like if we were going to hire someone, a geologist from California or something, They wouldn't know anything about our formations or how unique our reservation is and how our money is, the process from the producers to, you know, where we get it at, coffee bill reports. All that has to be factored into whoever we bring in. And if they've never been here and know this agency and how we derive these numbers, I mean, I would definitely, this is a specialty. And I know that this is, you know, what we think is wrong, we haven't even heard back. And just because you think you found something that there's a discrepancy, doesn't mean wait till we find out. It's like you're just jumping the gun is how I feel. That's just, as they all say, I'm one of 8. So that's how I feel about it. But if the vote passes, and then, but I think it needs to go to Finance Committee to modify the budget for, I don't know how much this will cost.
Before I go to another council member, I did have the superintendent call me, it was either yesterday or the day before, and she said there was some problems with the lockbox. There were some numbers, or she didn't really go into great detail, but whoever was in charge of getting us an answer was gone for a few days. She will not have an answer for what the discrepancy was until next council meeting, third Wednesday, which is coming up on whatever, 16th, I think. But she will have an answer then. So anyway, I'd like to go to, I see some of the usual. I'm gonna go to Councilwoman Harlan. It's always kind of refreshing. Not always.
Well, I don't know how refreshing I am, but so I understand what Margot's saying, where Councilwoman Gray is saying, but I'm going to have to join with what Councilman Redcorn said, and that is we need somebody who's doing this full time. Because I always tend to go on the conservative side. You guys know I've been a no vote on spending money so many times, but this is why we're here, to make sure that our estate is being paid out appropriately. And I really feel like that the BIA has, let's face it, not been as transparent. As everybody will recall, last December we were hanging them up on the lockbox, but that happened to us yet again. And now it sounds like there's some other problem with the lockbox. So I think that that's just an example of mistakes being made. And I get the lockbox is very different than the accounting of the revenues, but I do think that somebody needs to have this position full time. And I also believe that we might be able to put some additional duties on them. For instance, following through, making sure that that lockbox is checked, so that when we come to a council meeting, we're assured that our staff knows that the lockbox was checked the way it needed to be, that somebody's paying attention to if oil dips down, or are we actually paying that gross production tax, or sending a signal. So I agree that money is always an issue. We have to figure out where we're going to get it from, but I think this is a necessity, and I'm in full support of bringing somebody on full time to do this. And I hope that the individuals who write out the job description will add some of those additional tasks on there, that our staff shouldn't, they have enough on their plate to do that. They shouldn't be having to follow the BIA around and make sure they're doing their jobs, but that's what an auditor would do. So that's my position. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Redcorn, then Councilman Foreman, and Councilman Revard after that.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Harlan, for your comments, and Ms. Gray. I think this auditor ought to look at the $1 million 395 and also the 510. We need to be totally transparent with our shareholders. So I'd throw in the payment but also all the budgets that we're over, just as long as we have an audit, somebody third person looking at it, just double checking all our signatures and all our, all our decisions, make sure it's all backed up with law policy, that we're adhering to the nation's procurement process. That way it gives our shareholders that added security that we are checking our own business. So I'm kind of envisioning, if Ms. Harlan says maybe other tasks, I would throw that in. What is our finance group people doing? What's our accounting doing with our $1 million? And is it adhering to the resolutions that we're passing? So anyway, I think we could grow this job, and like I said, I do this for the nation, and people are watching over us. Um, and it makes people, more, astute, aware of what they're doing. Not that we're doing anything wrong, but I think it would only help us show that we're a transparent organization if we also include the C-395 and the 510 budgets in this audit. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Foreman.
Thank you. Let me make sure I'm not muted. Thank you, Chair. Just to be clear, the discussion was to hire a consulting auditor, to come in like Jim Swan did several days a week. Now, Councilmember Harlan referred to it several times as full-time job, but I don't really see it as a come in everyday employee of the nation. This motion was to hire a consulting auditor to come in and audit the superintendent's reports that she sends over every month. But I love the idea of expanding those responsibilities, and they're duly noted, and we'll make sure that they get into the description. We've not considered anyone, we've not picked anyone. We're just saying we need to have an auditor back again, like several councils before us had. And it's just so very important to review. There's always accounting errors, so it's so important to review the work that's done. And I see this as pure accounting. The reports, are what they are. An accountant can look at them and verify them with the information that she provides. So I don't see it, as being that unique as far as the auditing function goes. But that's all I had to say for now.
Councilman Revard.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. My couple of comments. I do like
Susan, go ahead, Susan. You were frozen up, so I kind of jumped in. So I'm going to turn it back to you, if that's
I
all
think
right.
I was the one speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sometimes it's okay. Councilman Revard, go ahead.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you, Chairman. Yeah, the comment I was making is I really, I agreed with Councilman Redcorn's suggestion that we broaden this auditor's scope of work to include overseeing our $1 million budget, as well as maybe some of our committee budgets.
Yeah.
Well plugging committee that I'm chairman of.
That'd be great.
We're blowing through $3 million of funds. It'd be nice to have somebody looking over our shoulders and make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. We do so with strict oversight of Candy Thomas, which we appreciate very much. But it'd be nice to have our own auditor give it a glance over, make sure they're looking after our best interest to keep our nose clean, so to speak. So with that being said, my other comment regarding this position is, if I'm not mistaken, when we first took office, this OMC4, did not we have this position filled by Mr. Swan? He just happened to be ill and wasn't coming in. Do we not already have him in our budget, or this position in our budget? So that was a question I have. Thank you.
Councilwoman Gray. You're on mute, or somehow we're not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. That money was, and it's a personnel issue, and I can't talk about it in open meeting because
That's correct.
I'm not gonna violate it, so if we go back in executive session, we can discuss this. And I can answer those questions.
Should we go back into executive and just
Yeah.
hash this out?
Yeah.
Since it's personnel,
I think before we go into executive, I think Paul's question can be answered without disclosing anything, and that was, we've been a year on a new budget, Councilman Revard, since we had that employee filled. So
And that,
we've done a whole new budget since then.
Okay, thank you.
entertain a motion to go into do we need to go in executive first?
Not for me.
No, no.
No?
No.
Okay, well then let's just, do we have a motion and a second?
Yes,
Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
And Tolly made the second, is that
Yes.
correct? Councilwoman Gray, you should, what's,
yeah, okay, my question is, we were paying our consultant, auditor consultant, $24,000 per year for 20 hours a month. So we're wanting to expand this to full-time and with additional duties. We really worked hard to kind of get this better. We just now are going to be interviewing for another staff person. And part of the duties of a current staff person was an increase to backfill this position. So are we going to rewrite job descriptions? And I know it seems like I get where everyone's real excited about bringing a full-time person on and an additional, so that would be a fifth employee. But we got to look at benefits and all this. That's why I'm saying, how about if we just do a part-time auditor like Councilwoman Foreman suggested, see how that rolls out and fix some of the things. And then if it looks like, hey, we may expand to a full-time auditor, let's transition. But I'm just trying to look at both sides here, and I'm apt to change my mind, but I also want to do something. But to let you all know that we got to count the fringe, we got to count, bringing on, it changes it changes that budget. And I know you think it's just something easy to do, but it's a little bit more. I kind of like the idea, if we do it, I would be more in favor of a consultant, but.
That is the motion. It is for a consultant.
Hey, we were in the dark for a few minutes, people.
Sorry, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I just want to clarify before you know.
Oh, okay.
and that's what I was gonna say, we're just saying hire an auditor. We're not specifying duties or salary at this moment. So we may hash that out or flesh that out later. Right now, it's up or down. Do you want to hire an auditor or not? So,
Yes.
Councilman.
Contract and audit.
Contracted. Is that the motion? Because I know that
That is the motion. I can repeat it.
Yeah, because we don't have it on there. Did you have the
She said hire an auditor, is what she said.
You said hire an auditor.
That's what's on the agenda.
Can I restate the motion?
Please.
I make a motion to hire a consulting auditor, or to contract with a consulting auditor.
For Minerals Estate,
Pardon?
for the Osage Minerals Estate.
For the Osage Minerals Estate.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Waller.
Chairman, I call for the question.
All right, let's go for the question then. Sounds good to me. We chased this long enough. Roll call.
Councilwoman Gray, Why did you start with me? I'm abstain. Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Revard,
Yes.
Councilman Waller,
Yes.
Chairman Yates,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you all. Meeting minutes. Hopefully everyone got a chance to read them. I printed them, looked them over. The motion to accept,
So moved.
I second it.
motion by Councilman Redcorn, seconded by Second Chair Red Eagle. Any discussion? Everybody's got their hands up. Councilwoman Foreman.
I'm sorry, I forgot to take mine down, I guess. I'll take it down.
Councilman Red Eagle.
Sorry about
Second
that.
Chair. Councilman Revard.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
Let him roll. Let him roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I apologize. Yeah, mine had to do with the subject of committees. As chairman of the plugging committee, I was just curious to know from the others on the Mineral Council, from their previous experiences of working with Congressman Cole, how soon should we expect to hear back from Mr. Cole, Congressman Cole, regarding our letter that Chairman Yates sent to him requesting assistance to get additional funding for the plugging program?
Is this
It's
on the
been a
meeting
little while.
minutes?
Pardon?
Is this on the meeting minutes?
No. No, I tried to go back one subject before you did the meeting minutes.
Oh,
Under
Okay.
committee reports, I was just wanting to make a comment under committee reports.
okay,
being
let's
chairman of the
finish the
plugging
minutes.
committee.
Let's finish the minutes and then we'll discuss Representative Cole.
Thank you,
Call for the question.
thank you.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Revard,
Yes,
Councilman Waller,
Yes.
Chairman Yates,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray. Yes. Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you. Before we adjourn, Paul, Councilman Revard, I'll let you ask your question again on subject.
okay. Right, thank you. As chairman of the well plugging committee, our committee had drafted a letter for Chairman Yates to send to Congressman Cole seeking assistance in additional funding for the plugging program. It's been a little while since that letter was sent out. To my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that we've heard back from Congressman Cole. My question is, how long should we give Congressman Cole before we, so to speak, bug him a little bit more? Has it been long enough that we ought to reach back out to him with a phone call or another follow-up letter? Or have we actually heard from Congressman Cole? Thank you.
Councilman Waller.
Before we answer, has he had any response yet?
Can Lacey talk?
We haven't even got the signature card back from that letter yet. I do suggest sending another one.
Okay.
That's where I was heading. I would congratulate him on his reelection, thank him for the millions he has spent, and ask him to keep it coming. Anything other than that, I agree with council. Let's hit him right now before the new administration.
Sounds good. If someone can draft a letter, I'll sign it and we'll reach out to him to make sure he got the first letter. And if not, then we can follow up. Councilwoman Gray.
I would make sure we do that immediately. Right now, as you saw, this Senate budget, so you know that the House side is working on their budget right now. I would immediately, in fact, I would even expedite it by having our attorney, who equally knows Congressman Cole very well, get that letter and then he can follow up with a call. We want to get that, a letter will not get it. He's gonna talk to someone he knows. I mean, that's what they could be voting today, for all I know.
Chairman,
Yes, Councilman Waller.
I just wanted to iterate that's exactly right. And the other comment I have is that even the comment period should include exactly what we talked about, and Councilman Gray, Representative Davis had concerns over on that budget. That's all I got. Thank you all.
Okay, if someone can put together a letter or contact Wilson to draft that, we'll get that out as soon as possible. Follow up on that. Councilman Redcorn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Redcorn, seconded by Councilman Waller. Call for the question.
Councilwoman Harlan,
Yes.
Councilman Redcorn,
Yes.
Second Chair Red Eagle,
Yes.
Councilman Revard,
Yes?
Councilman Waller,
Hey. Yes.
Chairman Yates,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foreman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray.
Yes, go Huskies.
Motion passes.
Go Huskies.
Go Huskies. We're in the playoffs.
Go Nalogany Tigers.
She.
Everybody stay home.
Nalogany Tiger.
The original purple and white. Thank you, everyone. Again, stay safe.
Hey,